Some crimes shatter our understanding of humanity, forcing us to confront the darkest corners of human nature. The parent-child bond is meant to be sacred, a sanctuary of love and protection. But when that bond is corrupted and the protector becomes the predator, it leaves a scar on our collective conscience. These are not just acts of violence, they are the ultimate betrayal, shaking the foundations of our communities. Today, we examine 10 of the worst child deaths at the hands of their own parents, stories that shocked the world and demanded change. We share these accounts with respect for the young lives lost, hoping that by bearing witness, we can help prevent such horrors from happening again. Our journey begins in Palmdale, California, with Gabriel Fernandez, an 8-year-old whose life was a relentless chronicle of torture. Gabriel's mother, Pearl Fernandez, and her boyfriend, Isauro Aguirre, subjected him to daily beatings, starvation, and humiliation. He was forced to eat cat litter, locked in a cabinet, shot with a BB gun, and burned with cigarettes. Despite visible injuries and multiple reports from teachers and relatives, the child welfare system failed to intervene. Social workers documented his injuries but never removed him from the home. In May 2013, Gabriel suffered a fatal beating. Paramedics found him unresponsive, with a cracked skull and broken ribs. He died 2 days later, exposing not only the cruelty of his abusers, but also the catastrophic failures of the system meant to protect him. Public outrage led to the firing and prosecution of several social workers. Pearl Fernandez and Isauro Aguirre were sentenced to life and death, respectively. Gabriel's story remains a painful reminder of the need to see, listen, and act before it's too late. In 1965 Indianapolis, 16-year-old Sylvia Likens was left in the care of Gertrude Banisevsky, who, along with her children and neighborhood kids, subjected Sylvia to weeks of escalating torture. Sylvia was beaten, burned, starved, and humiliated. Her suffering encouraged and shared by other children. She was denied escape, her spirit and body broken in the basement of the Banisevsky home. The abuse culminated in her death from brain hemorrhage and malnutrition. Her sister Jenny, also abused, finally alerted authorities. The case shocked the nation, revealing how ordinary people can become complicit in cruelty. Gertrude and several teens were convicted, and Sylvia's story remains a chilling warning of how evil can fester in plain sight. In 1987 New York City, 6-year-old Lisa Steinberg lived with Joel Steinberg and Hedda Nussbaum, who illegally adopted her. The home was a place of chaos, violence, and drug abuse. Joel Steinberg's brutality left both Hedda and Lisa battered and terrified. After a fatal blow to Lisa's head, Steinberg and Nussbaum delayed seeking help for hours. Lisa was found comatose and covered in bruises. She died 3 days later. The case exposed child abuse and domestic violence in unexpected places, shattering illusions about who can be an abuser. Steinberg was convicted of manslaughter, and the case led to reforms in child welfare and adoption laws. Lisa's death became a catalyst for change, forcing society to confront the violence it too often ignores. For years, the Turpin family's California home hid a nightmare: 13 children imprisoned, starved, and abused by their parents, David and Louise Turpin. The children were chained to beds, denied basic hygiene, and isolated from the world. Their physical and psychological development was severely stunted. In 2018, 17-year-old Jordan Turpin escaped and called 911, leading to the siblings' rescue. Police found children shackled in filthy rooms, malnourished and traumatized. The Turpins pleaded guilty to torture and false imprisonment, receiving life sentences. The case revealed how extreme abuse can be hidden behind a normal suburban facade. It also highlighted the resilience and bravery of the children, especially Jordan. Their freedom stands as a testament to the power of courage in the face of unimaginable evil. In 1993, Liverpool, 2-year-old James Bulger was abducted and murdered by two 10-year-old boys, Robert Thompson and John Venables. CCTV captured the abduction, and the boys led James on a 2-mile walk, witnessed by many who assumed they were siblings. On a remote railway line, they subjected James to a brutal attack and left him on the tracks. His body was found 2 days later, shocking the nation. The case forced society to confront the capacity for cruelty in children and the consequences of neglectful parenting. Both boys came from troubled homes and became the youngest convicted murderers in modern British history. Their sentencing sparked debate about justice for child offenders. James Bulger's murder remains a haunting reminder of the darkness that can exist where innocence should reside. In 1994 South Carolina, Susan Smith appeared on TV, pleading for the return of her two missing sons, claiming a carjacker had taken them. For 9 days, the nation watched, until inconsistencies in her story led to a confession. Susan had driven her car into a lake, drowning her sons Michael and Alex to pursue a relationship unencumbered by children. The revelation turned national sympathy to horror. The recovery of the car and the boys' bodies was a moment of profound grief. Smith was convicted of murder and sentenced to life in prison. Her case is a chilling study in deception and selfishness. It shows how a parent's desires can override the most basic instincts of love and protection. The story remains a stark warning of the darkness that can hide behind a mother's tears. In 2001, Houston, Andrea Yates drowned her 5 children in the bathtub. Driven by severe postpartum psychosis, Yates believed she was saving her children's souls, convinced by delusions rooted in mental illness and religious fear. Despite years of psychiatric care, her illness was underestimated. The case ignited debate about maternal mental health and the legal definition of insanity. Initially convicted, Yates was later found not guilty by reason of insanity and committed to a mental hospital. Her story is a tragedy of untreated mental illness and a family destroyed. It underscores the critical importance of recognizing and treating severe mental health issues. 5 young lives were lost, and the case remains a harrowing reminder of the devastating power of mental illness. In 1983 Oregon, Diane Downs claimed a stranger shot her and her 3 children on a rural road. In reality, Downs herself pulled the trigger, killing her daughter Cheryl and severely injuring Christy and Danny. Her motive, a desire to be with a man who didn't want children. Investigators found no evidence of a stranger, and Downs's behavior raised suspicions. The most damning testimony came from her surviving daughter Christy, who identified her mother as the shooter. Downs showed no remorse, relishing media attention and sticking to her fabricated story. She was convicted of murder and attempted murder, sentenced to life plus 50 years. The case is a chilling example of parental psychopathy and selfishness. It remains one of the most disturbing crimes in American history. In 2018 Colorado, Chris Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shanann and their 2 daughters Bella and Celeste, shattering the image of a perfect family. Watts initially played the grieving husband, but inconsistencies and evidence quickly unraveled his story. His motive, an affair and a desire for a new life. He strangled Shanann, then smothered his daughters, disposing of their bodies at his work site. Watts pleaded guilty to avoid the death penalty and received 5 life sentences. The case is a terrifying look at the chasm between public persona and private reality. It exposes the catastrophic consequences of lies and selfish desires. The Watts murders remain a chilling modern parable about secrets and betrayal. Gypsy Rose Blanchard's life was defined by her mother Dee Dee's Munchausen syndrome by proxy, fabricating illnesses to gain sympathy and control. Gypsy was forced into a wheelchair, subjected to unnecessary medical procedures, and isolated from the world. Dee Dee's manipulation fooled doctors, charities, and even Gypsy herself for years. As Gypsy realized the truth, she saw no escape from her mother's abuse. In desperation, she conspired with Nicholas Godejohn to kill Dee Dee in 2015. The murder revealed years of deception and abuse, shocking the public. Gypsy pleaded guilty to second-degree murder and was released in 2023. Godejohn received life without parole. The case exposes a terrifying form of parental abuse, one that uses medicine and lies as weapons. It is a cautionary tale about the dangers of unquestioned trust and the desperate lengths a child might go to escape. These stories are painful reminders of children's vulnerability and the devastating consequences when trust is broken. Protecting children is a collective duty. If you suspect abuse, speak up. Your vigilance can save a life. Support child welfare organizations and help raise awareness. Let us confront these truths, break the silence, and ensure our voices become a legacy for those who cannot speak for themselves.